You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's experienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Friday, January 20th. Good morning, Powers.
Good morning, Beef.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you for tuning in. I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, but I'm feeling that Jane's Addiction, who just recently announced that they're going to be performing at the Rialto Theater, not performing at the Rialto Theater if I didn't use their song Stop as my show intro song.
True.
I do think it's not a coincidence, beyond coincidence. I could be wrong, but I do kind of feel like I want to take credit for that. So you're welcome, Tucson. Oh, you're welcome.
I remember when they were in Phoenix and someone got mad that you didn't mention it.
I know. I know. Yeah, I was like, dude, they're in Phoenix. But with that, that doesn't mean we have tickets to give away right now. It is the Rialto Theater, and so that's a smaller venue for such a legendary band. So Rialto, I heard, is just going to do the ticket sale, see how they go. If it sells out immediately, then they don't have to give out tickets.
Right.
So this is the last time I'm mentioning Jane's Addiction coming to the Rialto until we get Perry Farrell on the show, just so I could be like, hey, Perry, you're welcome. I resurrected your career with my theme song. Did you know that? All right. I won't take too much credit, but I am a supporter. I am stoked about that. And I probably won't be able to afford the tickets, but I will go there to sneak into the event. Here's the game plan. Whenever you go to like a sold out show at Rialto, that doesn't mean you stay home. If you still want to go to that show and it's sold out, I would go to like our bar and then kind of hang out by the patio. And even if you don't get in, you can still hear what's going on and have a cocktail in your hand. Same difference. And just like if you were at a music festival, right? Those giant music festivals, you're not up close and personal to the stage. You just have music all around you and a bunch of people drinking and having a good time. Boom. Yourself in that environment, and you'll have live music from Jane's Addiction in the background as your soundtrack.
Yeah, I used to run a lot of like barcades at our bar, so I get a lot of free shows.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
What was your favorite show that you listened to but didn't watch?
I don't quite remember, but I remember my favorite show to see was all the EDM shows because those kids just show up in their underwear now.
Yes, they do.
That's all they wear.
That's very nice. Yeah, and rolling on their molly, just showing off their cheeks. It's a good time. For sure.
My tip for avoiding the line. I've done this at Comic-Con. All you got to do is face the direction and walk backwards. It looks like you're with the crowd, but you're easing your way back in.
That's devious.
Yeah.
I do like that. We're going to have to bring Rico out while you do that and film you and see how well it works.
It's like Homer fading into the bush.
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday I finally evolved as a phone owner, finally gave in and got myself a new phone.
Oh, hit that applause. There it is.
When I went to this little phone shop and talked to the 21-year-old who was selling me this phone, she had verbal diarrhea. She could not keep her mouth shut with every one of her thoughts, right? Yeah. So, and she kept putting her foot in her mouth consistently. And one thing that she said was she goes, wow, I don't even remember the last time somebody brought in an iPhone 7. So, because I got myself, I upgraded to an iPhone 14, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, so I doubled the generation. I went from a 7 to a 14. That's how long I was holding off. And I'm the type of geezer who would keep that 7 for another 20 years. It was fine until Apple basically hit that automatic kill switch on me, and I couldn't really use it anymore.
Well, 7? I don't think you can blame Apple for that one.
I'm blaming Apple because, again, the phone was in pristine condition for the most part. I mean, it's done. I did watch a lot of porn on it, but that didn't slow it down by any means.
Why would porn slow down a computer?
No, not with Apple. That's the one thing that Steve Jobs said. He said, look, I need you to create, an interface of a computer network, not only in your handheld, but I need it to be porn resistant. Meaning that you could watch all the porn in the world and not get a virus. I need it to be safe like that. That was his number one thing. He didn't care about the cameras. He didn't care about, music and, the picture quality or the speed. No, he just was making sure he was building products that would not get too many Trojan horses when you jacked it to porn. So, and he was ahead of his time, a pioneer, and he's sorely missed. That's for sure.
You're reading this directly off his Wikipedia, which is shocking.
I
All of
know.
this is true.
I know. Yeah. Well, it is a fun little toy to play with. So be on the lookout for plenty of new reels and me flooding social media because now my phone's working.
Yay, filters.
If you were annoyed before with all the stuff that I was doing on my crappy phone, just wait. We have a lot to get to today, including the morning more on Ticketmaster going to Senate. I want to talk about that and why that's not going to change anything, but why it's important that they do kind of piece music in a way. And how they have a stranglehold on this music industry. And I have to be careful when I talk about this and tread lightly as to not piss people off because obviously we do business and we want to give away tickets to shows. And it's not like we could say, okay, well, we're not going to, give away tickets to a Ticketmaster show. We're just going to support the shows that don't utilize Ticketmaster or Live Nation. And the problem is they have like 80% of all bands you want to hear.
I hope you like.
Yeah. We touched on that. We hit that hard. We hit it real hard. Good morning, everybody. And I'm glad I wasn't the only one who had an iPhone 7 still. Hold on to the dream. And yeah, I do miss the home button as well, Sarah. I do, I guess I'll tell you the truth. I've sneaked a peek at my girlfriend's phone from time to time, so I figured out how to use it ahead of time. So it wasn't as frustrating as I thought it would be because it is. Like the older you get, and one of the things I hate the most is learning new technology. And you get a new phone, and I know like for 2 weeks when you got an iPhone because you transitioned from Android to iPhone, and I know you're still not happy with it, but you were pissed.
Like pissed.
Yes. Just angry.
I
You're
know.
like, what the fuck is this? How's this thing even work? And like bad. Just
And then
really mad.
you were trying to show me, and then even you were like, they must update something. I can't figure it out either.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
I still don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, now I understand why you accidentally hung up on me. All right. Accidentally. I like that. All right. Let's please welcome back to the podcast broadcast stream, Todd Marley. The air check that opening, even though I know there was a little bit of technical difficulties, a little glitching because my computer still sucks, but the overall show open, what would you say?
I mean, it's hard for me to tell on this end because you were pushing buttons on your potato.
You can tell when you push buttons because it makes a.
I know,
Whenever
it
you
makes them
do anything.
it really sucks. I know. Now I hope that changes. Now the good news for everybody, and I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'll do it again. There is the smell of sawdust in the building, so they are currently putting together the new furniture for the studio. Now the rest of the stuff they have, and Scott, the engineer, knows that I need a new computer. We talked about it. We looked at it together. And we're trying to, troubleshoot this so I can have like a seamless, flawless stream. And it is frustrating, but it looks like it could be happening here soon. What does that mean? Well, that could be bad news, meaning that we miss a couple broadcast days to get things set up, depending on how long it takes them to set up the studio. That might mean that I can't work a couple days, which I'm fine with. But also want to work out all the kinks of whatever new setup we have to make sure it sounds and looks good and better than what we're doing right now. But whenever there's new technology, just like a phone, you got to troubleshoot it, and that might take a couple days. So you'll live. You took we took 2 weeks off. So
what is your vision for what do you think it'll look like? Can I tell you mine, which is going to be wrong?
Well, sure. Tell
Like
me the wrong
mine-
one. I'll tell you what it's going to look like.
Mine, for some reason, all of a sudden feels like it's going to look like a game show in here, but it's not. Like, are we standing?
We are.
Because I'm looking forward to the standing, but I feel like it's like color. Like, I don't know. Like I'm excited for it, but I feel like it's going to look like a game show, which is good.
No,
That's what I want.
And we'll have tall chairs so we can still sit. And I do enjoy sitting while doing the broadcast, even though I know it's not good on my rectum and colon, but you shouldn't sit down for long periods of time. It's just unhealthy for you. And they say standing as well makes you sound more alert, more awake, things like that. But I know exactly what it's going to look like. I'll tell you the whole breakdown of what I'm seeing and then what I want to add to it. Yeah, and yes, the LED light's going to be one of them here, Anthony. I'm going to do that here in a second, but let me hit the T's on the FM side, get more people popping on the stream with us and all that. All right, here we go. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're live on the podcast broadcast where you can join us, youtube.com/BeefVegan, or on Facebook at BeefVegan as well. You know, just keep Googling BeefVegan. You'll find us and you can join in on the conversation. Coming up next, things that instantly make people question how smart you are. Oh, yes. This is a list that we're going to go through, and I'm going to see how many times I relate to what's on the list as a big no-no, right? I'm trying to maybe not say no-no too often. Maybe you'll sound smarter not saying no. We're going to find out. This is a Reddit thread that went viral, so we're going to break that down. Plus, we got so much more. All today's top headlines and viral videos on the podcast broadcast. Join us, youtube.com/BeefVegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA, and this is System of a Down. Which you know. And hopefully, me playing that ramp wasn't too much ramp to get flagged and booted off of Facebook and shit, because they'll show nipples, but they won't let you play 23 seconds of a copywritten song.
Yeah,
which is a new thing. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, Meta has announced that they are lifting their nipple ban. And they're lifting the nipple ban. They say this is the reason. It's a PC reason why they're doing it. But I really think the real reason is because Facebook continues to slip in popularity. Instagram's still mainstay. That's still doing good. But, obviously TikTok is king right now. Twitter's still doing okay. People are jumping ship off that, but there are more and more social media networks that are starting to pop up, become popular. So to compete with them, they are going to lean towards the Twitter way to have a little more uncensored content. Now, not full pornography. Thank you.
Like a juice bar type of thing, where it's just topless but no bottomless.
Maybe, yeah. Well, they have not freed the coochie, so right now just free the nipple, and it's for people. They say to recognize women's rights and freedoms to free the nipple, and also trans and blah 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 blah. Right? They added a whole list of all the people that could show nipples. So
they are full of crap.
Exactly. Right?
He's like, our ratings are slipping. Slipping. Oh, word association. Slip, nip, slip. We should allow nipples on Facebook.
Yeah. And they know, a lot of the most popular influencers are just really hot people that their followers just want to see naked, right? And
hey, Mandy Rose, again, women's champion of WWE, NXT, all that stuff, gets fired for being too salacious on her version of OnlyFans. It's not even an OnlyFans.
No.
It's the Pepsi to OnlyFans Coca-Cola of nudity.
$1
million in a month.
Yes, $1 million in 1 month. She's making more money than she was working with the WWE.
Than she ever would.
I saw some of those pictures because I was talking with Gumby, our buddy Gumby, the security guard at the TCC, and he's like, no, it wasn't just because nudity. And he's like, check this out. So he had all these screenshots and saved photos on his phone. I kid you not. And apparently the scene in question that got Mandy Rose fired was essentially a video of her having sex with her boyfriend in the shower. Okay. It's alluded to. It's not full blown on there, but that was enough to
because it's also straw. It was a straw. She had been warned many times.
Yeah,
as they all are with their social media things. Like, you got to stop. Nah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. It's like, I'm transitioning to full blown porn. Yep. So that's what happened with her. All right, let's get back on here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to BeefVegan Presents. On the stream, we got Todd Marley back here, and the reason why I got Todd on here because I want to get into this conversation with him. And he's one of my friends who gives me brutal honesty. Sometimes it's a little too brutal, but at least I could always turn to him to ask him, advice or an opinion about something, and he's just gonna tell me how it is.
Usually, yes.
Todd, listening to the show, what are some things that I do that may make me come off as less than intelligent?
Read.
Okay, reading. Yeah, okay, that's kind of
use anything, any 3-syllable words. It is pretty painfully obvious when you're talking about a subject off a piece of paper, or whether it's a subject you actually know something about. Like,
okay, you're pulling back the curtain too much. I know that Powers, you had something you wanted to add to the list because you're a dick. What?
How dare you? I'm just being your friend that I like to point out when you maybe missay a word. Mm-hmm. But the other day I was rewatching the stream.
Okay.
Remember when we interviewed Paul Reiser?
Yes.
And then you said, like, oh, Paul Reiser's my new best friend. NBG. NBG. And I'm like, watching them, like, wait, do you
Yeah.
mean NBD?
Oh, yeah, I meant no big deal.
Yeah, well, you did that.
I said
wrong, too.
NBG.
Like, chanted it. That's how you ended the show.
Did I chant NBG a couple
Yes.
times?
Yes, at the end of the Paul Reiser episode.
That sounds similar. So, the reason why I'm asking this is because there's a Reddit thread that went viral asking people to suggest things that make you question how smart somebody is instantly, right? And with this, I have a few examples. And I would hope that, this would be a lesson for a lot of people out there to try not to fall into these traps, to come off as less intelligent.
Mhm.
All right. So, first one, subscribing to a political party like it's a religion, like going all in, a little too all in. It does kind of make you look less intelligent to other people, no matter what side of the coin you're on.
Yeah.
All right. When they repeat a certain statement word for word, this guy said they get the impression that they memorize something to sound more intelligent than they are. Okay. Another person wrote, if they believe in TV magicians, ghost hunting shows, or that most of the reality shows are not scripted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the cat's been out of the bag for a long time there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gullible.
Mm-hmm. What about off the top of your head, and not necessarily directed at me? What is a sign or something someone does that makes you instantly think or question how smart they are?
Again, a lot of your Ricky-isms, as we know from Trailer Park Boys.
Again, I'm not talking about me.
Oh,
I'm
not
talking
you.
about
Okay.
people in general.
Okay.
All right.
Well, when people
Choice
in
of-
general mispronounce words,
Okay.
just in general.
Yeah. My Ricky-isms are all well crafted, thought out, and planned. It's all character.
It's true.
Okay. People who could only argue by reason or voice. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like that. That's me in a nutshell. It's tough. In fact, actually, I was talking to Mac the other day, just having a conversation with him. And Gabby, one of our coworkers, popped into the studio and then immediately was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And popped out. She wanted to talk to Mac, but she thought we were in the middle of fighting.
Yeah.
And we actually were just like agreeing, but I was agreeing in such an aggressive, loud manner that it seemed like I was ripping him a new one.
Yeah.
And I got to really watch that because obviously around, corporate stuff, you can't do that. You got to have a little more control over your volume. But I was raised by maniacs from New Jersey, right? Like this is the way that we talk.
No, that's fair. Because I was going to say, I'm from Long Island. So again, I've been accused many a time in like a review at a job.
Yeah.
And they're like, why are you so angry right now? And it's like my manager during a review. I'm like, oh, I thought I was just looking serious.
You're right.
But instead it looks like I want to punch them in the face.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how many times I've been accused of yelling and where I've not even known that I was yelling. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? I'm not yelling. I'm just very passionate about this. But yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to watch that because that is a sign, or at least people will question how smart you are based off of that. And then finally, I will keep the conversation moving and go through a couple more of these lists, plus an awesome text message thread on the podcast broadcast. But here's something that people do that make people question how smart you are, and that is talking about horoscopes. Right? So like someone saying I'm toxic and clingy because I'm a Capri Sun. No, Sharon, stars have nothing to do with it.
I can't be with the Capri Sun. I'm an Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people who unironically use the words alpha male. Anyone that states they're an alpha male, you immediately know that they're a dummy and probably not an alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because alphas don't say they're alphas.
That's right. Such a beta move.
It is such a beta move. All right. Keeping the conversation moving in podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beef vegan, or you can just Google beta beef and you'll find the link. It'd been a better joke if I didn't stumble over my own words. Sometimes my tongue is too big for my mouth. Yes, I said mouth.
Lucky
See,
girlfriend.
that's a Rickanism. Damn it.
Nice try. I was going to say wearing backwards. I was going to say wearing a gray hoodie.
Well, at what age am I going to stop wearing my hat backwards? I don't know yet as I continue
Never.
to get older.
Hey,
Yeah,
I just want, Metallica just dropped a new music video last night.
they did.
And, Lars back there playing them drums hat backwards, right?
Shit, now makes me want to turn my hat around
I
because
know.
I mean, Lars is a rock star, but he doesn't look cool with a backwards hat. I know this for a fact, though, as we grow older and turn into elderly men and we grew up with this, we are going to continue. You're going to see 90-year-olds wear their hat backwards. You're going to see, if I make it to 90, you're going to definitely see me rocking a backwards hat from time to time. It's just something that is in my DNA at this point.
Eh, I
Give-
think fashion is timeless to a degree at this point.
I don't know. And I don't think anyone like that looks at how you dress is going to take your word for it either. You know, it just is
Listen,
like,
I'm
I
celebrating.
appreciate you, but no one is ever claimed that you're an expert on fashion.
I'm very fashion forward. Okay. Listen, I'm
This
celebrating
guy-
my Disney-versary from when I went away. I got them all here. Look, Star Wars,
Okay, let's-
Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse.
Let me give this guy the attention he wants. So here is his gimmick going into the new year. So it's 2023, and you could tell this is what Powers has committed to doing, wearing sports coats initially, because
Right.
he's just got a new position here at the table or at the company, a director of.
Public affairs.
You're right. So that's a very fancy title, and it deserves a very fancy jacket.
I was going to do this regardless to class up the show, just because I figured why not?
Show doesn't need class enough.
Sure,
but-
it does.
Okay.
Sure, Pinky's out.
All
a little.
right. So to class up the show, he's wearing a jacket. To
Yes.
declass it and bring it back to where it needs to be, he's rocking oversized mugs. Yesterday was the gold toilet, or Wednesday was the gold toilet,
That's right.
and then today is the Darth Vader mug. But how many oversized mugs do you have?
I think I probably, if I look at all the mugs in my house, even if some are like pencil cups, I can empty out for the day.
Mhm.
Probably, let's guess 35, 40. Maybe.
35 or 40 oversized mugs.
Yeah, like different types of funny mugs. Maybe not oversized, but like, novelty mugs. Sure.
Again, this begs the question, and I know I've asked this question before. Like, what is the difference between a collector and a hoarder? And where's that fine line, and when do you cross that to intervene? Because, I know you have a lot of stuff of value, a lot of stuff of not value, maybe emotional value.
Yes, which is worth far more. All right?
No.
What?
Okay, so the reason why I asked this is earlier I came across, and I mentioned very briefly on the show, an average or a study or a poll asking people how many toys they kept from their childhood.
Hey, Todd's going to be on my side.
Todd is a collector, right? You see, but of course, he's also a dungeon master, and
Don't look!
all those,
Don't look.
all those back there, those are handcrafted
hand painted
yeah,
miniatures.
tools and pieces for Dungeons and Dragons and various
not this
RPGs.
shelf. I'm still working
Okay.
on the shelf.
So, how many toys do you have, Todd, from your childhood?
From my childhood, probably
Mm-hmm.
my Nintendo, my original Nintendo.
Okay, so that's one, but then not even stuff that you've kept from your childhood, but stuff that you rebought. So behind you have a video game, the Simpsons video game you played from your childhood. So we could go ahead and count that. Now that you're an adult, you can afford that. You have that in there. So
if you want to go that route, that's everything I own. Then
Right.
Like,
yeah. So what do you think? If you give me a ballpark number, what do you think it's going to be? And I'll let you know if you're over or under the average. The average is surprisingly high.
Do I have to count every one of these?
No, give me a guesstimation.
If I have to count all of those,
Okay, then he's
Like,
above average.
yes.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. I mean, you're having a meltdown because you're like, nah, that's gonna be like in the hundreds. I mean, give me a ballpark estimation if you can of how many actual toys, which are like action figures, in boxes, without boxes. And I know you had a store, so that's a little bit of excuse, but the rest of them are now still collecting way past your store. So get a ballpark figure.
25,000.
You think you have 25,000 legitimately or 2,500?
Probably not 25,000. That's insane. We counted my
Yeah.
sister's like pop vinyls, and you think it's so many, but it turns out it was 300.
Okay, yeah.
You
You
all
think
right.
2,500 is more of an accurate ballpark?
No, because it's more than that. So let's say, I mean, seriously, like, I'm gonna go with 5,000.
Okay, that's a lot. That's full blown. And does that go surpass the collector? And does that move into hoarding?
See, here's why it's not hoarding, because I've gotten rid of tons over time, and I get rid of stuff that's broken.
Okay, well that's good. And you can resell like the 40-year-old virgin and probably become a millionaire. It's probably
That's always what I've done.
yeah. Oh well, so this new poll found that the average American keeps the average adult keeps 20 toys from their childhood. Okay, so 65% of the people say they kept toys passed down to them to their children or grandchildren. 57% say that they kept them because they're sentimental, and then 59 said that they would probably better than anything. They say they're probably better than anything that you could buy today as far as the toys. Now, what do you think the number one toy people have kept is from their childhood? So not what they rebought like Todd, but what they kept from their childhood. What do you think the number one toy is?
A doll that they slept with.
That is very close.
Right.
All right. Barbie dolls.
Barbie dolls. Okay.
Yeah, Barbie dolls never get thrown away. Legos are next, followed by Hot Wheels. G.I. Joe's even made the list as far as prizes or toys that adults keep from their childhood, and even the Fisher Price telephones, which that's just straight up garbage. I mean, honestly, after like 2 months.
Once the Flintstone phone came out, I mean, that you could throw that Fisher Price thing right in the trash.
Right. Light bright.
Do I still have it if I've passed it down to my son? Or
Yes.
is that now his?
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's what this was about. It was about keeping it, passing it down in generations. Because what you asked me initially was how many toys does the average adult have? And I guess like 20.
Yeah.
But this is how many did you keep from growing up
Yeah.
and passing down as 20.
And do you have any toys from your childhood that you kept?
Almost all of them.
Jesus Christ. So, and that's how much is that? How much is that?
A bunch.
Okay.
That's all them real Ghostbusters, Thundercats, Masters of the Universe. But I've gotten rid of a lot of like I kept Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, right? I got rid of every variant and everything because I had every variant. I
Yeah.
had 400 Ninja Turtles. I got rid of all of them. Slobby Robbie bought a lot of them.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta get Slobby back in here. I mean, he's been popping in town. I've been seeing him on social media. Also, if Chef Gary's watching the stream, I got some unfortunate news from Chef Gary. It looks like Squared Up Pizza got shut down. I still have to find out more about this, but we just had Patrick from Squared Up Pizza in studio.
Where's breaking news?
Oh yeah, well, I'd have to pull that up. I don't want to make a joke out of it.
Well, we're not
because
gonna
it's
make a
livelihood
joke.
to people and stuff.
true.
And Patrick's a good dude, and of course, supporter of the show. And it does suck, but the business in the bar, he did talk about on the air some of the stresses of the rent and some of the problems he was facing. And then as soon as he got that Barstool rating, they consistently had a line and they were selling out of dough and they were raking in money hand over fist. And I was hoping that would be enough for them to be able to catch up on any kind of like late fees or paid overdue invoices. I don't think it was though. And so I got this message from Chef Gary showing me that somebody posted it, one of those notices. And Powers didn't know this as a little fact, but in Arizona, landlords, if you get behind in your rent, they can literally lock you out of your place and seize everything that's inside it. That's part of the Arizona law. They can legally jack your shit if you're late, and it is very aggressive. Some landlords do this aggressively to kind of like take advantage of a situation and profit from it. And then others are kinder people, but they are out there to where landlords are like, no, sorry, whether you're 30 days late or whatever the case may be. I love that $10,000 oven you're rocking. You're locked out. That's mine. I'm liquidating and making my money back and then re-renting it to somebody else. So, yes, Park Place or Park Mall probably charges way too much for their lots. That's what David is saying, and I don't disagree with that. I can see that. But yeah, in that situation. Now, the Tucson Mall, we got to talk about this. It's a new law in 2023 that you can drink alcohol openly in certain areas like a mall. So there's no place here in Tucson yet that is going to implement this, but places up in Phoenix, like the Desert Ridge Mall, if you've ever been there, there's a couple outdoor malls where they have bars, restaurants, and it's an outdoor mall, right? Arizona rocks the outdoor malls. But the only thing that sucked is that which I always wanted to be was like a Mardi Gras vibe where you can go from one bar to another bar, open carry and drink while you're still on property. Well, they made it legal in Arizona in 2023 where they're going to be able to do that. So you're talking like a world of possibilities as far as putting on events, New Year's show, New Year's parties, whatever the case, because essentially you're turning it into Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Strip, and say, okay, this property here, it's like we have a bunch of bars. You can grab a drink here, and then you can walk with your drink to the next bar, continue to party on. As long as you're on the property, you're good to go. The Tucson Mall has been dead for now 5 years at least. It continues to drop off. It only has a Ross, a Harkins, maybe the
Tucson doesn't have a movie theater. Tucson Mall doesn't have a movie theater.
No. Okay, Foothills Mall. Sorry.
Foothills.
No,
Okay.
the Tucson Mall is still full.
Yeah.
Foothills Mall is what I'm talking about. Foothills Mall is completely abandoned. You walk through that, it's very sad, right? They don't even have a food court anymore, so none of the food is still there. And of course, they just have the movie theater, which is still up and running, and they're renovating it, and it looks nice. And then the Ross. Okay, that's all they have. And then you have an empty thing. So I'm proposing and been proposing you turn this into the goddamn alcohol mall. This is what I want to see. I want to see every single one of those slots being occupied by a small business bar / restaurant owner, and literally make the whole thing a food court / adult entertainment center. You already got the movie theater there. And then just imagine being able to bar hop from one place to another, all within the Foothills Mall. I mean, yes, you're going to need extra cops and security. Shit might get crazy sometimes, but also really good time. Pull on full-on events and everything. That's the way to save that property, because it's either that or continue to tax write it off or just demo the whole thing.
That is the plan for a lot of malls, is to be more like Dave and Buster's. Like, that's the idea. That's why they have a lot more
Which
entertainment
mall?
in there.
Give me an example, because I'm seeing more malls actually convert to housing. I've been seeing that. I've not been seeing dead malls turn into Dave and Buster's.
No, before they're dead. Like, what they're trying to do is like activate the malls by getting more like, again, Tucson Mall has a mystery escape room. Tucson Mall has like the jumping trampoline thing in the middle, the little cards for the kids to
those
ride.
are malls that are still in the
Yes, that's
mix.
what they're trying to do, is make them more like amusements, like you're saying. Hence, add booze. You're trying to make Epcot. The idea that you can just go from place to place to place around, and that would be great business.
Yeah, no. Well, and obviously I'm still not talking about Tucson Mall. They're still in business for quite some time, but you have a clean slate with the Foothills Mall. They need to do something with it. There was a place up in Phoenix called the Metro Center Mall. That place shut down after it died. And then now they finally like demoed it and they're building something else. So one or the other, right? You got to either demo it, rebuild, or if you're going to keep that building in a property,
My hometown actually turned it into a library. The city took the thing over. So the movie theater's still there. There's like a video game place that still exists there, and a couple other stores that exist. But the city took it over, and they moved the library into there. They moved a couple city services into there, and then continued to rent out other spaces as it expanded.
Yeah, and still nobody goes. So it's like replace it with someplace where no one's going already. So it's like, I know how to fill up a mall that nobody goes to. Put a library there. So that way you could have homeless people and nobody going to it. Looking at porn, like, honestly. But we're trying to figure out, we're talking about the new law in 2023 that allows establishments that are like open air malls to have their patrons open carry alcohol. So a place like Desert Ridge up in Phoenix is going to implement this, where you could literally grab a drink from one bar and then walk outside while you're window shopping to another bar. And I'm sure, I don't know, like the Old Navy's not going to let you walk in with a hurricane in your hand. You might have to leave that outside, but maybe they will.
You got to serve those drinks in plastic cups. That's fine, with a lid and a straw.
Exactly. I know that the Vegas retail shops inside casinos, they don't complain about their customers drinking, because a drunk customer spends more.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, you think Amazon's doing great. It's because wine sales went up too. There's all these people wine shopping drunk, not realizing that, like, I ordered this thing.
Yes, that's why online shopping has really flourished. It's really because of the inebriated shopping when you have it right there. Yes, I know.
You ever drunk shop for real though? I've never shopped while like really drunk.
I haven't drunk online shop. Well, I guess I maybe drunk online shop when subscribing to a special page. Wink, wink. But besides that, and I regretted that as well.
I bet.
Yeah. There's a few things I regret doing drinking, but I haven't done the online shopping. Have you?
No, I bet it would be terrible.
The worst stories that I've come across have always been the Ambien people who take an Ambien and then wake up the next day and be like, oh, I spent $3,000 on Pez dispensers. What is going on? That is something only someone on Ambien would do. All right. Well, it is Friday and we have a long weekend ahead of us. Of course, there's Roadrunners games happening tonight and tomorrow, but there's also a lot of other events that you may want to go out and entertain yourself with. And if you don't know what they are, luckily our boy Powers got your back. So Powers, what do we have happening around town this weekend?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of events, and one of them is a big fun one. It's a circus. That's right, a circus is in town.
I saw this. My girlfriend's sister took the kids. It's right downtown. The circus looked pretty awesome. Had petting zoo, had the whole nine, right? What's involved in the circus, and who brought it to town?
So this is the Zoppe family circus. They're an Italian family of acrobats, right? There's a big ringmaster, lots of trapeze artists. This is not your old-fashioned circus where they're harming elephants, none of that. All the animals there are all pets of the actual family, and it's mostly just dogs and horses. So you don't have to worry about it or be protests in a circus. You can just go enjoy a lot of the trapeze acts and that sort of thing. Very talented family.
So this is a classic circus in a way that it's not necessarily involving animals, but it's a family of entertainers and acrobats that travel around the country to entertain the masses. I'm sure cotton candy and all the cliche goodies are there. It looked like the kids were having a blast at this. And they, like I said, they do have a petting zoo.
Heck yeah.
And of course, live entertainment with trapeze artists and all the other circus stuff. No,
Yep, it's
no
down.
lions or tigers or nothing.
No lions, tigers, or bears. No. Don't worry about that. It's down by Menlo Park, so it's in the Mercado area.
Excellent. All right, what else is happening around town this weekend?
Well, there's a big event, and it's the Fringe Fest. So if you heard about the Tucson Fringe Fest, there's an annual thing. It's a huge event.
Okay, no, I have not heard of the Fringe Fest.
All right, there are 4 live venues, 2 virtual venues. I believe their YouTube channel might even have some live stuff going on this morning. You can check out 50 performances and mythical creatures it boasts.
Okay, so what you talk about these mythical creatures and the artists. So you got live performances, so I understand that. I got that concept down pat. So let's talk about these interactions and the art that the people are going to be able to see.
So there are 4 venues, like I said. You got the Screening Room, you got a cabaret, the HC Cabaret Theater, Steinfeld Warehouse, and the Circus Academy of Tucson, all doing various things, whether it's like performances with music, traditional music, folk music, different styles of, solo acts. But then there's also like books, poetry, that sort of thing, and a lot of different real creators. It's not a juried like show of people. There's a lottery that they do to pick all these 50 performers out of a hat, and that's why you get this really eclectic mix of people.
Well, that's good. Is it all kind of centrally located, or is it spread around town?
It's a bit around town. Like I said, there's 4 areas, Steinfeld Warehouse, but it's pretty much downtown.
How do people find out about this?
They can go to the TucsonFringe.org. You can definitely check out their full list of events, because there's a lot of unique things that obviously go beyond explanation here. But check them all out, and that's what you're going to find out. But TucsonFringe.org is really, really fun.
Awesome. That does sound fun. What else you got going on?
Well, I know that you're a John Lithgow around here. Whenever I'm dancing, you get a little pissed. But that's too bad for you on Saturday night, because that's right, because it's a Footloose dance party.
We're on the air. Did you drop the C word?
No, that was what a cut. That was a deep cut.
Oh, what a cut. Okay, I hit the dump anyways. All right, go ahead.
Either way, I call him John Lithgow because it's a Footloose 80s dance party at the Surly Wench.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yes, the Surly Wench is always throwing good parties. So the Footloose Surly Wench dance parties are happening, right?
Yeah.
So what makes it a Footloose party?
It's going to be all themed with Footloose. There's themed drinks. There's button giveaways. Lots of that. They're playing Footloose on the TV screens, so you can dance along with Kevin Bacon all night long.
Okay, nice.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, that's just a rundown of some things that are happening this weekend. We're going to be talking about more events on a podcast stream, and we'll be back with more right after this. Rock 102.1 KFMA. And was in there one more thing?
It's just the Tucson Jazz Fest is wrapping up. It's been going on all week.
Yeah.
But this is the last weekend of it, so go check it out. Still at 4 venues.
Nice.
Yep. Century Room, Rialto, Fox Theater, and Hotel Congress's outside stage.
Yeah. I did think that you said the C word. I was just like, Todd.
No, I was impressed with it. He just pulled out just a really deep cut.
That's what he does, though. He's niche Mr.
Let me tell you
Throwback,
something.
and yes.
Footloose is not a deep cut. Calling you John Lithgow from Footloose is not a deep cut.
It's not a deep cut. It's a dated reference, right? And that not everyone, you'd be surprised. Yeah, I mean, the Footloose did come out in 1984, 86 maybe.
But this is it's a Footloose dance party. The whole theme of it is Footloose.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not knocking
would not
it.
have made that joke unless
I understand that. That's not in just regular conversation talking about today's like topical news. But yes, I know, I understand. Like, I didn't even realize that John Lithgow was in that movie. Not a huge fan of Footloose.
He's the villain.
Yeah, well, he's a great villain, but yeah, I'm not a fan of Footloose. All right, we're gonna read through some of these text messages here from Coke Can Greg, or the back and forth. And I'm going to show you that.
This guy again?
Yeah. Well, we didn't look. We talked about it on the air, the PG version, but this guy needs to go on full blast. The interaction was hilarious, and his whining and crying, and like him being called out by this woman, Melissa, is funny. But we'll do that after today's Morning Moron, because we showed video of this guy in a tractor who had a theme song while leading police on a slow pursuit. Check this out. Lincoln Park with Numb on Rock 102.1. It's now 6:17 and time for your Morning Moron. Let's do this. Now, we have had plenty of stories where criminals are leading police on high-speed chases. This happens all the time. The low-speed chase is always one of my favorites to focus on in Morning Moron. The infamous low-speed chase and how long you can go. You know, you don't really have to drive really fast to evade police for a long time. In fact, actually, some of the longest police chases are some of the slowest police chases. And this is one of them. This happened in North Carolina. And it seems to show today's morning moron, Ronnie Hicks, driving a tractor down the street with several law enforcement officers in pursuit.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call it pursuit. Maybe they were just tailing him, But again, he was in an oversized tractor, just cruising down the street while cops were behind him, sirens blaring. Now, Hicks allegedly stole that tractor, and he tried to run pedestrians down and then fled at a whopping 20 miles an hour. But that wasn't all. This is what made it extremely odd. The dude was blasting the theme song for Dukes of Hazzard the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, actually got a video clip, and you'll be able to hear this, but you'll see it on the podcast broadcast later on. Here is the tractor just making its way through. Just a good old boys.
Oh my God.
And he's swerving. It's very GTA-like, In fact, actually, I love it when life imitates GTA. So, yeah, Ronnie Hicks is driving down 20 miles an hour after trying to run people over in that oversized tractor that he stole, bumping the theme of Dukes of Hazzard over and over and over again as he drove. Now, luckily, there was no injuries reported, and he was taken into custody after officers used the taser to subdue him several times and tase the hell out of him. So, in recap, and do I really need to recap? I just want to. Ronnie Hicks, do not steal. When you steal a tractor, try to run people over at a very slow rate of speed, too. Again, it's one of those Austin Power moments where like, whoo, oh man, another 5 minutes, he would have got me.
Yeah.
Right? So stealing a tractor, trying to run people over, evading police at 20 miles an hour for hours, while bumping the same theme song from Dukes of Hazzard over and over and over again, definitely makes Ronnie a morning moron. Your theme song be if you were to go lead police officers on a high-speed chase?
I was say it's got to be the Benny Hill theme.
Oh yeah, that's how you would do that.
I'll
Yeah,
believe
I mean,
that,
for you,
'cause
definitely.
off-road, go in every direction. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I would pick, and I would just remind of this song, "Danger Zone" from Kenny Loggins.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that theme song from Top Gun. I mean, that's going to give you white knuckling. That's not a 20-mile-per-hour chase. Oh, no.
That's right.
That's a 120-mile-per-hour chase.
Yeah.
So
I
that would
Can't
be-
Drive 55 is another good one.
Yeah. I mean,
Breaking the law.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just imagining the track, breaking the law. Like, no, you got to think of as it goes by, what's going to pop the crowd.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, if you're cranking it loud, you drive by it like 60 miles an hour, cops behind you, you're breaking the law, breaking the law. Yeah, that's funny. All right, I'm gonna give you both a list that you're gonna be really stoked about. It's the 7 reasons why playing video games is actually good for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I know I could tell that Todd plays video games. He features video games with us all the time, and he has those stand-up arcade style games in the background, as you can see. I know that you've been too busy to play video games too much, but what was the last game that you were playing on?
I'm still playing Tetris a little bit, Tetris 99, which
Yeah.
is the Tetris where you go against 99 people, and I'm playing.
You look at him. Look at the big brain on Powers.
It's
It's flexing
fun.
that brain.
It's good.
fun.
That's a good game, actually.
It's a fun
You
game.
play that too? What was the best you've ranked out of the 99 that you played against there, Todd? Because I think you got it for what?
I haven't won
Eighth.
that battle royale. I think I've gotten like third once.
I've gotten eighth.
See, third. Yeah, you got third. You got eighth. You got to try harder. You got third.
Hey, it's hard.
I know.
It's a hard
Awesome.
game, and there's luck involved with it. Like it just who you
Well,
get
you're all-
messed up with.
Is it luck? Because aren't you all getting the same pieces at the same time?
I imagine you are getting the same piece at the same
Right,
time.
so
I was going to say I didn't want to bag on Todd. That's loser talk. That's not luck. There's no luck in Tetris, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's
That's
skill.
also true. Yeah.
That's skill and strategy. And if you're, I play heads up Tetris with my girlfriend. And, when you do that, and I played it with Powers and got smoked a couple times. She's not allowed over my house now. So, yeah, when you play the heads up, they're giving you the same pieces every single time. You might speed ahead and it looks like different pieces, but in order, you're getting the same pieces based on you. And for that 99, how can you play that? That's an online game?
Yeah, you got to be online.
On your phone? On Switch.
Nintendo
Oh, it's a
Switch.
Switch thing. Is it free?
No, it's a game.
Okay.
Regular game.
It's if you have the Nintendo Online, you get it.
Okay.
You get one little
Do you
piece of it.
have the Nintendo? What services do you have as far as the video games? Do you have all of them?
I have a lot of them. I have Nintendo Switch, just the online access. I don't have their expansion pass. I don't have PS Now, but Xbox Ultimate, low key, still the best deal in all of gaming.
Yeah, because it's $9 a month or $10 a month, and you have all those games.
You getting AAA coming out right away. It's still the best. Like if you just want instant access to a solid library, Xbox Ultimate or
I don't argue it. I have
Pass.
it. I don't play as much as I should or could. There's games that again are above my head as well. But when they included EA Sports, that was cool. So then you get the Maddens and the baseball and the NBA 2K. And
see, I'm like classic gamer, which is why. So with the Switch expansion, you get access to the Sega Genesis collection, the N64 collection, the Switch with the regular
all the Super Marios.
Well, that comes on the Nintendo collection, and the Super NES collection come kind of with the basic.
Okay.
So already with the Switch, it's like, oh, you get 100 and something free games.
Yeah, nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And then I felt like, yeah, I want to unlock the Genesis because of Columns came out. I love Columns.
Do they have Duck Hunt still on there?
But you can't have a zapper, so no.
No light gun.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a game that we missed. All right, well, here are the 7 things that make.
How many of them are hand-eye coordination?
Well, they wouldn't do multiple. I don't assume. Let me just.
Let's see how many they reword then.
Yeah, how many did they reword to be better?
How many? If you play Dance Dance Revolution, you'll get exercise.
You'll lose weight. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, you guys are going to be blown away by this.
Okay.
It's not hand and eye coordination, but at some point, most of us were told that if we kept playing video games, that our brains would waste away, turn into a big pile of mush. But as you can tell with my very intelligent gamer friends here, that's not necessarily the case. So here's some good things that gaming can bring to the table. 7 of them, in fact. The first one comes from a 2013 study that found that video games can help dyslexic children read better.
I believe that.
Yeah. And why?
Well, because Batman comics are why I read better. If you can interest a kid in reading and get them to read more, they're going to. And video games are good.
Practice.
Yeah.
Practice.
Another study showed that some games could help slow mental decay. So, a lot of games are thinkers themselves, so it could help slow mental decay. The brain is not necessarily a muscle, but the more frequently you use it and keep it fresh, you're going to decay slower.
Yeah, well said. So my dad
I don't
agrees
play
with
as
that.
many video games, fuckface. Okay.
That's why they like older folks. My dad retired, and he said that. He does more Sudokus, more crosswords. He goes to keep his mind sharp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's that's his generation. Our generation straight up going to be playing Xbox, PlayStation,
and Wordle
32 and shit like that. Canadian researcher found that gamers tend to have more lucid dreams and could even control aspects of them. That's weird because I can control aspects of my dream. And I've been able to do this. I know the exact moment I've been able to kind of control aspects of my dreams. Not all of them, but there are some. And this exact moment was a breakthrough, and it was so profound for me. And you ever had those dreams where you get into a fight with somebody, but you're punching in slow motion?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you can't go, right? And for whatever reason, those are kind of like nightmares. And there's a subconscious reason you're doing it. There's a reason why you're having that dream. I forgot what it was, but psychologists definitely have their theories as to why people have that dream.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very common dream. Well, one night I was so pissed off on my buddy Danny. This is the second time this week I'm talking about him as well, and he's in prison right now. But he's the guy that you love to hate, but hate to love, right? So he was on my nerves one day, and I'm just like, I'm having a dream, and it's like, and then all of a sudden, I swear to you, it's like I broke through the glass, and I was like, broke through the glass, was like, wow, fucking nailed him, right? In my dream. Now, I never punched him in real life. He would have kicked my ass. The guy's a thug. But and you remember Danny, Todd. So Hash Brown is what we called him on the radio. So
okay.
Yeah. So he's a gangster, and so I remember punching him so clearly and knocking him out in my dream. And then from there, I've been able to control aspects of my dreams when I have dreams. It was so insane. And and again, you don't want to meet me on the streets in my dreams because I'm a black belt at this point.
Oh.
I would go full Neo from the Matrix, just fuck you up, son. They're done. But real quick, another story about Danny while I refresh my memory. So we went out to the bar right by my house called Stingers. I do a little karaoke night, right? Getting wasted. And the host of the karaoke night, Brooklyn, was there, and Brooklyn would pop up on the show as well. He's, my show was very much like this show.
Sure.
We include a bunch of friends, and he would get drunk, and Danny was drunk, and they kind of had an altercation where Danny almost kicked his ass, right? And they're going back and forth. They fucking hate each other. And so what I did is I Maury Povich them. I had Brooklyn on the show. He didn't know that Danny spent the night at my house. Of course, I do the show out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I set Brooklyn up to tell the story of what happened the night before. And Brooklyn is kind of talking it up like, hey, this guy got my face, I'd punk him out, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, that's odd that you say that, because look behind you. And Danny was standing right there, and Brooklyn, who's like 50 years old at this point, he was an older guy, and we're all 30, and Danny's a scary looking dude, even though he's shorter in stature, a short Mexican dude. Brooklyn basically shit himself.
Oh my
That
God.
was the last time Brooklyn was on the show too. He's regretted not coming back. But yeah, it was funny, and no one was listening. But Todd, you were in the studio that day, right?
I honestly, I was probably too high to remember.
Mm.
No, I don't. I would have remembered that one if somebody, because I remember Hash Brown. As soon as you said Hash Brown, I knew exactly who you're talking about, because it was a dude that would come into the studio. I wouldn't really know why this guy was hanging out at all.
Just
but I also didn't tell him a thing. Like, you got it, dude, whatever you want.
Yeah.
First day, I think that's where I got immediately told no more throwing things at the studio, because I needed him to be quiet about something. I threw something across the studio at him,
and Danny was gonna kick your ass. We're on the air. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah. So yeah, he had one of those tempers, and so did Todd. But yeah, so that's a good lesson in life, though, Todd. You can't throw things around the studio, because you never know who might be a G. I mean, I'll forgive it. But I'm not necessarily a G no more. Oh, you throw it, I will kick your ass, Powers. All right, since we are back live on the air, we were breaking down a list of 7 reasons why video games could be good for you. A couple that we found was a 2013 study found that video games could help dyslexic children read better. Another study showed that some games could help slow mental decay, and a Canadian researcher found gamers tend to have more lucid dreams and can even control aspects of them. Now, I do have a few more interesting facts, reasons why video games could be good for you. A 2012 study or experiment found that surgeons who played video games for more than 3 hours per week made 37% fewer errors and 26% faster than surgeons who didn't play games.
Fancy way to say hand-eye coordination.
Bingo!
Yeah, I guess it is. Yes, hand-eye coordination for sure. I wonder how many of them play the game Operation. I want a surgeon who is like an expert at Operation, never makes the red nose go off.
Don't touch the sides.
Mm-hmm. A long-term study found no evidence that violent video games contributed to violent behavior. Thank God for that, because I can't wait for GTA 6.
Yeah, and we all know that's that rap music.
Right, yeah. In fact, a 2014 study found that being bad in a video game can make us more morally sensitive. You're shaking your head like you knew this.
Video games help you learn how to fail. So that's the thing about some of that, is that there's a lot of stuff the kids do these days. They don't like, remember growing up playing video games? You just try and try and try and try it. It's a good lesson.
Oh, no. I was the kid that would throw the video game against the wall and say, F you guys, I'm going home.
Oh, okay. And get a Game Genie and cheat.
Yeah, I hate it.
There's no Game Genie for girls.
No.
Unless it's
I don't even know
spritzers.
what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. You're going so many deep references here. Final reason why video games may be good for you. At the University of Rochester, scientists discovered that frequent action gamers tended to have quicker reaction times and made the right decisions faster. So, I mean, we know that some military is actually training their soldiers by playing video games to work on that. What? Hand-eye coordination.
That's right.
All right, we're going to wrap things up with your beef tip after these words. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Like I say it almost like the voiceover guy. I go, Rock 102.1. I'm basically trying to take his gig too. I want all the gigs. All right. But yes, okay. That was all long ways to say hand-eye coordination.
Hand-eye coordination, that's reactions.
Yeah. Did you know trapeze artists are actually this much better at the trapeze?
That's not true, though, because, the interesting parts was the long-term study finding no evidence that violent games contribute to violent behavior. I think that's good information for any potential parents out there. And,
It
And the
actually
thing I
takes
said
away
before.
because it's an outlet for those violent tendencies if you got them. And
Sure.
so it gets a lot of people if you don't have a real desire to act on them. That little spark it has, you just dump it into GTA and you're done. You go on with your day as a normal, nice person.
Now I'm curious about his spark. I'd be like, I wonder what he does on GTA when he has that spark. But real quick, let's go to the phones. Rock 1 2.1, who's this?
Hi, yes, I go by the name of Halo. I was listening to you guys talk about things that are good in video games. I, for one, am a big fan of Red Dead Online.
Oh, yeah.
And let's just say, like you were talking about GTA, life choices learned, you can get stabbies or stabbing people in the game without consequences, whereas in real life, you got to pay bail, you got to go to court. So I think in a way, not only does it help us learn choices, but it also allows us to get that unbridled aggression that we have throughout the day out.
Oh, you're the person that keeps stabbing me when I play Red Dead Online. Now, what's great about Red Dead? What's great about Red
No,
Dead?
if you ever play Red Dead Online, I'm that gamer that if you're a low level and you need help with something, I'll drop a perfect carcass at your feet, wait till you and get on my horse and go my separate way.
Oh, that's very sweet.
And then stab you in the back.
No,
Then I'll stab you with a machete. Maybe if you draw your gun, then all bets are off. The machete's coming out and you're getting a stab in the face.
I love it. Now you got me craving. I'm probably gonna pop on Red Dead Online today. So I appreciate you
Well,
listening.
hey,
Let me.
no problem, Beef. And if you do hop on, just look for Halo Goddess 86. That's my gamer tag on Xbox.
Nice, Halo Goddess 86. Okay, I'll be on the lookout for.
That's right.
I'm Cloaked
Awesome.
Ferret. Cloaked Ferret 28.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it.
Well,
That
we'll
sounds
take
like a
care
name
of you.
Xbox
My
user.
group's really good. We'll take care of you.
Good. Yeah, I need to join a gang.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
They
Heck
call,
yeah, Beef.
they call it a
It's
posse.
been awesome. You guys stay safe.
You too. Thank you so much. Yeah, they do call it a
Uh-huh.
posse. You're right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I want
and
to
we'll-
break your guys' heart, but they're winding Red Dead down.
No. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Why? What's this news all about?
Because they can't. They're laundering enough money through GTA 5. They don't need to spend it on the pittance they get on Red Dead.
Well, that's because they haven't been doing, they haven't been adding anything to Red Dead Online since its inception. People
It's
have been complaining from the very
spinning
beginning.
down. It is spinning
Shit.
down. Sorry. Get it in while you can.
You know what I wanted? Well, it doesn't matter. I like the storyline anyways, and I barely played the online. I tried, and I did, invest some hours into it, but I'll go back and just play the story again once.
Because that's amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. It's beautiful, and just exploring that world and building everything up is always great. But I was hoping that they would do an expansion pack that would essentially be Red Dead 1, Red Dead Redemption, because that obviously was the Red Dead Redemption 2 was the prequel, right? So now that they had this like whole
Want more
thing,
bad news.
oh fuck your face. Yes.
Yeah, after Grove Street botched the remastering of the GTA trilogy.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. A lot of the remastering hopes got pushed way back.
Well, look, I didn't even need the game to be remastered. I was just hoping that they would just include that storyline into the blueprints that is Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Because essentially they have all the same land and a lot of the same characters, and all they would do is just kind of keep that movie progressing.
Just rebuild the game entirely in 2. Yeah, sure. That's not a small undertaking.
God damn it.
See, the thing about these video game companies, there's just, filled with all these frat boys that don't do work, right? The nerds want the stuff to play, but all these guys, they're too busy, taking advantage of girls and doing what they can that they can't get a new game out.
I don't believe that at all.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah? Where's GTA 6?
Yeah.
Well, GTA 6 is coming.
They have like one job.
Sure.
No, we've seen it, and the leaks are there. Hold on, let's get
Sure.
back on here.
Sure.
Now we're talking gamers stuff, and we had Halo Goddess 86 call in. She plays Red Dead 2 or Red Dead Online. And I got bad news from Todd Marley saying that they're ramping things down, but with Red Dead Online, and meaning that it's going to be more and more difficult, or they're just going to eliminate it.
No,
I don't
it's
see why they would
gonna-
take that away. What?
Turn off
Yeah, tell 'em.
just turn off the server. That's all. They do it to games all the time now.
Do they do that? Well, they haven't done it with Grand Theft Auto 5, and then every now, I mean, I haven't been able to play online
Grand
with.
Theft Auto 5, despite being 3 console generations in and now 11 years old, something like
Mhm.
that, still makes about $1 billion a year.
Well,
Without
they could
looking
do
up
the
the
same
actual,
thing.
it's somewhere in that total. So
They have the business model from Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and Rockstar, of course, owns Red Dead Redemption 2 online. They have the business model. They could do the same thing in Red Dead. People love that game. I personally love it as well. So why don't they just add more stuff and make a bunch of money from Red Dead, and we could play that for the next 15 years as well?
Because cars and guns are cooler.
Mm.
Damn it.
Bank
Right.
heists are more relatable.
I'll tell you the soundtrack.
There's no
for,
hip hop in Red Dead.
That's
Uh,
racist.
No radios in Red Dead. No rock music, so we're not racist anymore. It's just also, did I mention the $1 billion?
Okay, all right. Well, that's bad news for gamers, but again, fingers crossed for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out here in the next 3 years. I think it's possible. They did the leaks. I think it's possible. I don't care what Todd says, but we're running out of time. So I got to give you your beef tip before we go into this weekend. And I hope to see you guys at the Tucson Roadrunners games this weekend. There's a game tonight and a game tomorrow, TucsonRoadrunners.com if you want to get your tickets, and I'll be out there hosting that game. If you want a money-saving hack,
Oh, I do.
yeah, come across this. I came across this TikTok couple that went viral with their money saving hack. See, what they did was they put away $5 in a piggy bank every time they had sex.
Deja vu.
Yeah, every time they had sex. In over a year, they were able to save up $1,300.
Wow, that's at least 210 times or something like that.
It's a lot,
That's
actually.
quick
In fact,
math.
yeah, the math, let's see, was 250 times.
Oh,
So
okay.
they did 250 times in a year. So that's my tip to you. Do the same thing. Every time that you have sex with your significant other, put $5 away in a jar, save it up, and then use that for funds on your vacation or going out to a bar. I've been doing that all year long. And
It's the
so
20th,
far,
yeah.
I saved up $10.
Oh, 10. Wait a minute.
That's right. Last night was sex night. Put another $5 in the jar. That's why I'm feeling good. And I hope you guys have a great weekend as well. Be back Monday morning with Mari and Powers and so much more. Till then, enjoy the rest of your day. Robin Nash is up next. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish
Yeah, you didn't see that coming, huh?
on a side of beef,
You didn't see it coming?
will come and
$10
enjoy your grief. But if you've been mean or
I did it in
kind
the
of
shower.
bad,
Did you have to
I
front you that
will knock
$5?
out
That's the
all
information
your
you need. You guys have a good
teeth.
weekend. We'll see you Monday. Oh, I fucking just